Forget what you think you know about the beginning. Forget the silent, sterile explosion of science. The ancient Greeks, they had a different story. A story brimming with personality, passion, and, well, quite a bit of drama. Today, we journey back to the very dawn, to a time before time, to witness the birth of the Greek cosmos. It all started not with a bang, but with chaos. What was chaos? A god, a divine being lounging in the void, or simply nothingness? Think of it perhaps as a grand cosmic yawn, a yawning chasm, an endless void. Or maybe, just maybe, it was like the ultimate teenager's bedroom, a terrible, indescribable mess, only infinitely worse. Whether chaos created substance out of nothing, or yawned it up, dreamt it up, coughed it up, frankly, we weren't there. But the Greeks believed it was chaos who, with some monumental effort, a heave, a shrug, maybe even a cosmic hiccup, began the long, winding chain of creation. The chain that eventually led to pelicans and penicillin, toadstools and toads, art and love, madness and biscuits. Science today actually nods in agreement with this ancient idea. In a way, it speaks of entropy, the inevitable fate that everything, eventually, is destined to return to chaos. Think about it. Your favorite pair of jeans started as chaotic atoms, coalesced into matter, ordered themselves over unimaginable eons into a cotton plant woven into fabric. One day you'll discard them. They'll rot or burn, their matter returning to the planet. And eventually, when our sun goes supernova, those very atoms will scatter back into the cold, silent chaos. What's true for your trousers, dear listener, is true for you too. The chaos that began everything is also the chaos that will end everything. Now, you might be itching to ask, but what was before chaos? Or what came before the Big Bang? The frustrating answer: nothing. There simply was no before. Why? Because time itself hadn't been invented yet. No one had hit the cosmic start button. Words like before, during, when, after lunch, last Wednesday, they had absolutely no meaning. It messes with the head, doesn't it? The Greek word for everything that is, for the universe as we know it, is cosmos. And right now, in this non-moment before moments existed, the cosmos is chaos and only chaos. Imagine an orchestra tuning up, a great stretching before the symphony begins. Because things are about to change very quickly indeed. From the formless, swirling chaos, two creations emerged. Erebus, he was darkness, absolute and profound. And Nyx, she was night, vast and velvety. They were primordial forces, not quite gods as we might picture them. They coupled at once, darkness and night entwining, and the flashing paradoxical fruits of their union were Hemera, day, radiant and bright, and Aether, light, the pure upper air. At the very same non-time, chaos brought forth two more immense entities: Gaia, the earth itself, broad-bosomed and foundational, and Tartarus, the crushing depths, the lightless caves far beneath the earth. Day, night, light, darkness, earth, the depths. Sounds almost charming, doesn't it? But let's be clear, these were not yet personalities. They were elemental principles, primal powers devoid of character, color, or much interest. Frankly, they were the primordial deities, the first order of divine beings. The raw ingredients of the universe, brooding, waiting beneath everything. There could be no stories yet. No once upon a time, no what happened next, because time hadn't stretched itself out. The silent emptiness began to fill when Gaia, Mother Earth, all on her own, performed a feat of parthenogenesis, virgin birth. She bore two sons. The first was Pontus, the vast, barren sea. The second was Ouranos, the sky, better known to us perhaps as Uranus. Ouranos was the sky, the heavens arching above, just as Gaia was the earth beneath, hills, valleys, mountains, yet capable, perhaps, of gathering herself into a form that could walk and talk. The clouds of Ouranos rolled and seethed, but they too could coalesce into a shape we might recognize. It was so early on, very little was settled. Hemera day and ether light also bred, bringing forth Thalassa, the female essence of the sea, complementing Pontus. Now comes the moment that changes everything. Ouranos the sky looked down upon his mother, Gaia the earth, and he covered her. He covered her as the sky still covers the earth today, an endless embrace. But he also covered her in another sense, as a stallion covers a mare. And in that union, something utterly remarkable happened. Time began. The clock started ticking. But something else began too. Personality, drama, individuality, character, with all its beautiful flaws and failings, its passions and schemes, its dreams and desires. You could say meaning began. The semen of the sky seeded Gaia, and from that union the ribbon of life unwound, stretching all the way down through history to you and me. From the very start, the union of sky and earth was gratifyingly productive. 12 robust, healthy children came first, 6 male, 6 female. These were destined to become the second order of divine beings, earning themselves a legendary name. The males: Oceanus, lord of the great river encircling the world; Coeus, associated with intellect and questioning; Creus, perhaps representing constellations; Hyperion, the watcher from above linked to light; Iapetus, whose sons would later stir up trouble; and the youngest, darkest, and most ambitious of them all, Kronos. And the females: Theia, the shining one; Rhea, who would become Kronos' queen; Themis, the embodiment of divine law and order; Mnemosyne, whose name means memory itself; Phoebe, radiant like the moon, gifted with prophecy; and Tethys, consort of Oceanus, mother of rivers and sea nymphs. These 12 were the Titans. Not content with these 12 strong, beautiful siblings, Ouranos and Gaia gave the world yet more progeny. 2 distinctive, but distinctly not beautiful, sets of triplets. First came the 3 Cyclopes, enormous, one-eyed giants. Imagine a single glaring orb in the center of a massive forehead. They gave their father Sky a terrifying new range of expressions. The eldest was Brontes, thunder himself. Next came Steropes, lightning embodied. And finally, Arges, brightness, the dazzling flash. Ouranos gloried in the power they gave him, filling the heavens with crashing thunder and blinding flashes. But the second set of triplets Gaia bore sent shudders even through the mighty Sky Father. Perhaps, as Stephen Fry kindly puts it, they were a mutational experiment never to be repeated, a genetic dead end. For these newborns, the Hecatonchires, the 100-handed ones, were monstrosities beyond imagining. Each possessed 50 heads and 100 hands. They were as hideous, fierce, violent, and overwhelmingly powerful as anything yet released into being. Their names reflected their nature: Cottus, the furious; Gyges, the long-limbed; and Aegeon, also called Briareos, the vigorous sea-goat. Gaia, their mother, loved them unconditionally. But Ouranos was utterly revolted. Maybe he was horrified that he, the majestic lord of the sky, could father such bizarre, ugly things. But more likely, like most hatred, his revulsion was rooted deep in fear. Filled with disgust and dread, Ouranos cursed them. "For offending my eyes," he roared, "you shall never see light again." And with that furious decree, he took his monstrous children, the 100-handed Hecatonchires, and their one-eyed brothers, the Cyclopes, and brutally pushed them back into Gaia's womb. What does that truly mean, push them back into Gaia's womb? Some interpret it literally, burying them deep within the earth. Remember, at this early stage, divine identity was fluid. Gaia the Earth Mother was also Gaia, the earth itself. Ouranos, the Sky Father, was also Ouranos, the sky. What is certain is this: in rejecting his own children, in treating his wife with such abominable cruelty, Ouranos was committing the first crime, an elemental crime, primal and profound. And it would not go unpunished. Gaia's agony was unbearable. Imagine it. The 3 hecatonkires writhing inside her, 300 hands clawing, 150 heads butting. Alongside the physical torment, a terrible, implacable hatred sprang up within her against Ouranos, the son she had borne, the husband who had betrayed her trust. And, twisting around that hatred like ivy around a tree, grew a plan for revenge. Still gnawed by the pain of her imprisoned children, Gaia journeyed to Mount Othryss, a great peak overlooking central Greece. Consumed by fury, blind to the charming view, she set to work, laboring for 9 days and nights, fashioning a strange and terrible artifact from the mountain's rock, which she then hid in a cleft. Her weapon ready, Gaia went to her 12 beautiful, strong Titan children. One by one, she posed the chilling question, "Will you kill your father Ouranos and rule the cosmos with me?" We often imagine Mother Earth as soft, warm, bountiful, kind, and sometimes she is. But remember, she banks down fire inside. Sometimes Gaia can be crueler, harsher, more terrifying than even the wildest sea. But her children were hesitant. Oceanus and his sister wife Tethys were busy negotiating their share of the oceans with Thalassa and were expecting their first child, the river Nilus, the Nile. They already had 2 grown daughters, Clymene, lover of Iapetus, and the wise Metis, who would play a vital role later. They saw no reason to risk killing their father. Next, Gaia visited Mnemosyne. Her name means memory. At this early stage, the cosmos was young, so Mnemosyne hadn't had much to remember yet, appearing shallow and ignorant. But as time passed, her capacity for storing information would make her incredibly wise. She refused, unable yet to articulate why. Theia and her brother husband Hyperion were also busy building a family, soon to be parents of Helios, the sun, Selene, the moon, and Eos, the dawn. They showed no interest in Gaia's deadly plot. Gaia despaired at her seemingly timid brood. She tried Phoebe, perhaps the most intelligent, gifted with prophecy. "Oh no, Mother Earth," Phoebe warned. "I see no good coming from it. Besides, I'm pregnant." By her brother Coeus, Gaia correctly guessed. She stormed off to Themis, who would one day embody justice. Themis wisely counseled her mother against the plan. Gaia listened carefully, and promptly ignored the advice. She tried Creus, who consorted with Eurybia, the flint-hearted. Creus was horrified. Eurybia seemed tempted by power. "What's in it for us?" But Creus forbade it as too dangerous. Then came Iapetus. His lover, the Oceanid Clymene, already mother to 2 of his sons and pregnant with a 3rd, stepped forward, horrified. "What mother could ask such a thing? For a son to kill his own father would be the most terrible crime," Iapetus agreed. Gaia, furious, spat a curse upon them and their children, Atlas, Epimetheus, and Prometheus, whose fates we shall see unfold. 11 children approached, 11 refused, only 1 remained. Rhea, the 11th, also declined but offered a crucial piece of information, perhaps hoping to gain favor with her darkly handsome younger brother. "Mother," she suggested, possibly with fluttering eyelashes, "why don't you ask Kronos? I've heard him cursing Ouranos and his power many times." She revealed Kronos often lingered near the caves of Tartarus, moody and magnificent. "Oh God, don't tell me you're in love with Kronos." Gaia sighed. Rhea blushed, begging her mother to put in a good word for her. Promising she would, Gaia descended deep, deep down towards Tartarus. So deep, it's said that a bronze anvil dropped from heaven takes 9 days to reach Earth, and another 9 to reach Tartarus. Tartarus was not just a place, but also a primordial being, born alongside Gaia. They greeted each other like grumpy siblings. "Is my son Kronos nearby?" Gaia asked. Tartarus groaned. "Almost certainly. Wish you'd tell him to leave me alone. He just hangs around looking miserable, melancholy, and misunderstood. Copies my hairstyle. Stares into lava vents. Wife thinks he's got some kind of man crush on me." And there he was. Kronos. Not quite the vulnerable emo youth Rhea and Tartarus described. He was the strongest of an unimaginably strong race. Darkly handsome, yes. Moody, certainly. Perhaps a mix of Hamlet's introspection, Macbeth's ambition, and maybe even a dash of Hannibal Lecter. He had discovered early that brooding silence is often mistaken for strength and wisdom. The youngest of the 12, he harbored a deep, piercing venom of envy and resentment towards his father, hidden from all but Rhea. As Gaia led him up from the depths, she poured more poison into his receptive ear. Ouranos is cruel, insane. I fear for all of you, my beloved children. She led him to the cleft on Mount Othrys and revealed the weapon she had forged. It was a sickle. An enormous scythe, its great curved blade forged from adamantine, untamable, a mix of flint, granite, diamond, its edge honed sharp enough to cut through anything. Kronos' black eyes glittered as he took in its shape and meaning. He plucked it from its hiding place as easily as we might pick up a pencil. He swung it once, twice. The powerful swish made Gaia smile. "My son," she said, "we must wait until Hemera and Ether dive into the west. And Erebus and Nyx prepare to cast the dark." "You mean wait until evening," Kronos interrupted, impatient, lacking poetry. "Yes, eventide. That is when your father will come to me." "Hide there," Gaia instructed, pointing to the cleft. "When you hear him covering me, and he grows loud, strike." As day and light slipped down into the western sea, night and darkness threw their shimmering black veil over the world. But the world wasn't empty. Erebus and Nyx had been busy too. They had birthed not just day and light, but a host of other beings. Moros, doom, feared even by immortals. Apate, deceit. Garrus, old age, bringing dignity as well as decline. The ghastly twins, Oisis, misery, and Momos, blame. Eris, strife. The cause of all conflict. Nemesis, retribution, punishing hubris. Charon, the future ferryman. Hypnos, sleep, the 1,000 Oneroi, dreams, including Phobator, nightmares, and Phantassos, dream shapes, led by Hypnos' son Morpheus, and sleep's own brother, Thanatos, death. Frightening beings, leaving their mark on creation. Yet there were also the 3 lovely Hesperides, nymphs of the west, heralding the soft gold of twilight. All these entities populated the cosmos. As Kronos waited in the cleft, sickle clutched tight, all creation held its breath. At last, from the west, came the sound of great stamping and shaking. Ouranos was approaching. The stage is set. The weapon is ready. The first great betrayal is about to unfold. Will Kronos succeed? What horrors and wonders will arise from this primordial violence? Join us next time on Eternal Olympus for the fall of Ouranos, the rise of Kronos, and the breathtaking birth of beauty from brutality. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and journey with us again into the mists of myth.